Hello and welcome to a new week on Gran Turismo Sport, and just look at this lobby. We're starting from the back with Igor Fraga and Tidgney behind us. Igor Fraga obviously a World GT Sport champion, and Tidgney obviously a GT Academy finalist and has been to a number of World Tours as well. So we're starting in 18th then, so we've got those two just behind us as we have a tricky start to the race, put into level 1 on the traction control just to make sure we don't make a fool of ourselves before the race has even begun. Crossing the line then to begin lap 1, and you can see we've already lost a little bit of time to the cars in front. So I should mention this is a Group 2 race, so we're in the Nissan GTR, the 2016 one. You can use really the Lexus or the Honda as well, but most people choosing to pick the GTR as always. You can see here on the left hand side Igor Fraga just goes a little bit deep into the hairpin there, so maybe it's his first attempt at this race, or maybe, I don't know, or maybe he's not used to the hard tyres. So that's another thing. We are starting on the hard tyres. Obviously the mediums and hards are both available, but where we're starting at the back we're going for the alternate strategy, so starting on the hard tyres and then looking to pit to go onto the mediums later on in the race. So it's been a pretty uneventful lap 1 for us then. As we can see up ahead it's getting quite close, so we're going to be looking to catch up to that group very quickly as we go a little bit too quick into turn 1, and we can see Tidgney there gets a run on us out of turn 1 and side by side up the hill, and we're not going to fight this too much at this point because we don't want to lose any time. With this strategy it's very important to stay as close as we can to the cars ahead. We don't want to lose any time battling at the start of the race if we can avoid it. As we see there, Le Createur from France has a penalty along with Zocca. Zocca's another very quick driver, so we're going to let him go ahead of us just here, and we'll slot in right behind him. It's going to be really important to try and keep up with Tidgney in this race because obviously he's on a very similar strategy to us. Igor Fraga, who also started at the back, he pitted on lap 1 for medium cars, so he's going for a 2-stop strategy. But anyway, as we go around this corner here, Zocca kind of pulls over to the right and then just enters hyperspace, makes the jump to light speed and disappears off of the planet for now. Yeah, very strange, no idea what happened there at all really. And then as we turn around the final corner to begin lap 3, Zocca re-enters the atmosphere and kind of rejoins the race as a ghosted car inside of us, so very strange, not really sure what's going on there. So back to the race then. Up ahead we can see Shura 022 has a 1.5 second penalty, so that's another position we're going to make up after this first hairpin coming up. We're going to make sure we don't cause any problems going into here. You've got to be really careful, especially in these cars. It's easy to miss your braking point, as we saw with Igor Fraga of course on the first lap. So just brake a little bit earlier than you think you need to, especially if you're in the slipstream. And another important thing is as well is to not get on the power too early when you've got a car in front of you. There's a lot of the time, if you jump on the power like you would do on a flying lap, sometimes the car in front will have another car in front of him and he has to just delay getting on the power. You just don't want to jump on the throttle and smash into the back of them out of the corner either. So just be careful through that hairpin on the first couple of laps and when you're in traffic. Heading up the hill then on lap 4, you can see it's getting very spicy up ahead. There's a few penalties to serve, a number of cars side by side there going into the hairpin. We're just going to try and make sure we get the best exit if we can, and we managed to get past the German as we accelerate out here, and then you can see oh that was horrible. Tidgney just managing to thread the needle and we managed to go through the ghosted car, but then you can see in the mirror we've got Bilbo there smashing into the back of us, and unfortunately we've gone into Tidgney, but not lost too much time there. But Bilbo again decides to go for a bit of a bargy move and forces us out of the way, so not too happy with that. We're going to have a little look at the replay then and we'll ride on board with Bilbo. You can see there I've just passed him having served his penalty. So first of all he's hit him, gone straight into the back of me, and then he's, you know, rather than just say sort of, you know, my bad and let me keep that position, he's then gone for a bit of a clumsy move up the inside there as well. So not the greatest driver, and just makes us know to give him plenty of room if we come across him again later in the race. But it's lap 4 and we are going to head into the pits on this lap to take the medium tyres that will take us to the end of the race. And you can see there Tidgney entering the pit lane too, as we get a little bit sideways, just trying to maximise the amount of speed we take into the pit lane then. Exiting the pits and rejoining the race in 18th place then, about a second behind Tidgney up ahead, and you can see the number of cars up the road heading into the hairpin right now, so we're going to have to try and bridge that gap as quickly as we can on the fresh tyres. And we're jumping forwards a lap then, and we're looking down the hill into the tricky braking zone for the right hander, and we can see Zocker there ends up a little bit wide, so Tidgney looks to the inside to try and make that move, and hanging it around the outside, but Zocker gives him plenty of room there and slots in behind, so good move from Tidgney then. And we're going to have to look to do the same as quick as we can. Again, we want to stay as close as we can to Tidgney in this race, as he's the only driver on the same strategy as us, so we want to look to get past Zocker as quickly as we can. And he looks like he's suffering on his tyres a little bit there, and he goes deep into the final corner, gets a little bit of oversteer, has to correct it. We move to the inside, side by side down the straight then. We'll have a little look at the radar, and yep, we've got that move done. So up into, there's a few cars coming out of the pits, so we've jumped a few and we're now up into 15th place. So you can also see the Brit up ahead, Fox Bear, he's got a half-second penalty. So I think that's probably from when you enter the pit lane. If you dive across too late, you actually cut a bit of the track to get into the pit lane. So I think that's probably what he's done there. So another one to watch out for. When you enter the pits, make sure you don't cut the track by entering the pit lane too late. So as he serves his penalty then, we get that move done and moving up into 14th place. And again we can see the gap to Tidgney has gone out to 1.6 now, so he's going to get a little bit held up though as he starts to approach the cars that are yet to pit. So it should give us an opportunity to close up once again onto the back of them. And as we look down into the second to last corner there, you can see Tidgney's moved to the inside and he gets a nice clean move done. So we're in the same position then. Once again we're going to have to try and pass this car as quick as we can to stay with Tidgney. And we can also see a number of cars are starting to pit now. So as we come around the first corner, we can see there 2 more cars exiting pits, but we're going to get a good exit from turn 1 and pass both of them, so that moves us up into 11th place in the race now. And we've got a good slipstream here on Le Createur up ahead, and we're going to go late on the brakes on the pressure rubber. He gives us plenty of room and we get that move done nice and cleanly. So some great driving from the Frenchman there. It's really important to know when to concede a place and when not to. You know, it's alright trying to make the moves as clean as possible, but if you've got someone up ahead who doesn't give you any room, then it becomes very difficult. So up into the top 10 now then, and we're just going to have to push on as hard as we can. I think there might be a few cars still left to pit. You can see Igor Fraga is up ahead of Tidgney now, but I believe he's going to pit again to take some new fresh mediums for the last few laps of the race. If you look towards the timings on the left, we can see indeed there are a number of cars coming into pit, and we can see P7 and P8 are both entering the pit lane there as well. So that's going to promote us up another couple of positions, and we'll have to wait and see where the other car up ahead comes out as we round the first corner, taking a nice apex there. And yeah, we're in P8. So P8, and we can see up the road, just going into the hairpin now, another few cars. So jumping forwards then onto lap 11, and we've closed up the gap to the leaders actually. So we're only under 7 seconds to the leader now, and the kart in 6th place up ahead has a penalty. Tidgney has ended up side by side, going up towards the hairpin. So we're just going to try and get the best exit we can here, because it's only a half-second penalty the driver up ahead has, and it's going to be a bit touch and go as to whether we make it. He's gone a bit defensive up the inside, but gives us just enough room to creep through, and we head down the hill then into 7th place. Again, still just 1.1 behind Tidgney, and this strategy of pitting lap 4 on the hards and then going on to mediums is actually working out pretty well. One thing to mention is the brake balance. So at the start of the race I started with the brake balance on +2, 2 towards the rear just for a slightly better turn in, and then now I'm on the medium tyres, I've put it to +1, just to help look after the rear tyres a little bit, because they do wear out a bit quicker than the fronts on +2. On to the last lap now then, and you can see we have been able to bridge the gap further to the leaders. First place just 6.5 seconds ahead then, and we can see them going up into the hairpin as we're on the straight now. And 4th and 5th place look like they're having a nice little battle on this last lap, and all we need to do is just make sure we don't we make no mistakes, like I just did there with my words, and capitalise on mistakes other people make. As we can see, the Brit there makes a mistake. We move to the left hand side so we get the inside for the next corner, but we didn't need it. We had the overspeed on the acceleration to make the move, and he's got dirty tyres going through there as well. So get another move done then, and we're now up into 6th place, and it looks like it's going to stay that way unless there's any mistakes from the drivers up ahead. So really pleased with this race, really enjoyed it. Great fun fighting through from the back, following Tidgney all the way. You know, we're only just over a second behind him, so very pleased with that. We get a massive kick of oversteer as we go around the final corner then, and across the line to finish the race in 6th place. And yeah, very pleased with that one. Really enjoyed it. You can see P5 Tidgney, P6 me, and Igor Fraga in the end finished down in 9th place. So if you're starting from the back, looks like the 2-stop strategy isn't the best option. Best to stick to the 1-stop, start with the hards, pit lap 4 and take the mediums. So as always, if you've enjoyed the video, please give us a like and consider subscribing. Really helps the channel. And also check out Tidgney's channel. He'll be posting this race, I believe, in his daily race guide, and it's the best place to go through for guides on how to race the daily races. Thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next one.